So we put them in a position where they have to think under mad stress, mad chaos, on a breath, and they panic.
So you had mentioning some of those people made me think about some of your show. There was like this big breath holding challenge, right? Am I missing that? Would you mind walking me through that? What it was like, what it seemed like being on set, and just watching the people go through it and face that challenge?
Man, I'll tell you, and I'll give everybody a quick one for the shows coming out this season. As you know, water is the way to really test a person's soul. Let's just say
Right. A
that. Test
great
a person
equalizer
to
for
see where they are.
sure.
Is the equalizer. It's going to let you see you. It's going to put you in front of yourself, and you're going to find out who you are. And in training, since we can't shoot at each other, to really put you in that tense level of chaos to see how you respond, we use water and SEAL training to find that out who you'll be when you're in this hour selection program. So we do the exact same thing on our course. And we have this breath holding challenge where pretty much on each season, you got to do it. You're going to go through whether you're strapped into a plane, a helicopter, a vehicle. We're going to put you on the water, and there's some level of critical thinking that you got to do to properly get out of it. The reason being, this happens. You and I know, Brent, helicopters crash, right? People go in the water, goes upside down, vehicles flip upside down in the water. You have to methodically get your way out of there, especially at nighttime in the military when these helicopters crash in the ocean on a river. So we put them in a position where they have to think under mad stress, mad chaos, on a breath, and they panic. And the goal is to see if they can deal with it, right? Because we find out their bios before they come. We know what their phobias are, and a lot of them are water. And I'll give you an example on this show. Y'all gonna see. I forgot what episode it's gonna be on because we run these lives. There's no cut. There's no breaks. We don't give you a pep talk to kind of prep you for it. We don't tell you, hey man, it's gonna be simple. We don't do none of that. We give it to you rough, raw, and we put you on the edge before you get in there. So you're already scared and on the edge of your seat, and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna make this? We put this couple in there, and this level is you're in a plane. It's an actual fuselage plane, right? Like a regular, Boeing. And we're lowering down from the top of a dam about 300 feet up in the air. So now, if you're afraid of heights at the same time, you got to deal with this crane lowering you off a dam 300 feet down before you even get to the water.
That's wild.
So people are mentally freaking out on their way going down, right?
Yeah.
And before the thing even hits the water, you can just see them on camera because we have cameras all in their faces, all strapped in. We got GoPros everywhere so we can really see as they're going down. We're watching them. They're praying. Some are crying. They're talking to themselves, trying to pep talk. Some of them got their eyes closed, trying to meditate. They don't want to see what's going on. And we get to the surface of the water. We hover for a moment. Let them think about, oh, okay, this is about to go down. And this water's cold. And then finally we sink it. And man, you see some of the craziest panicking situations. They're strapped in with just a seatbelt, just like you would be if you was in a plane or a helicopter or a vehicle. And we tell them a certain way they need to get out of the seatbelt. And then maybe they have to retrieve some type of life-saving equipment to get you out and then get you to the surface so you can stay afloat until rescue comes to get you. Just like a real life scenario in the military. And you'll see people, man, as soon as they hit that water, not even really try to breathe, breath hold. They try, but they fear hits them so hard that soon they hit the water, all hell breaks loose, and they're trying to rip themselves out of the seat. They're swimming out of any window, door they can find. We got divers in the water trying to grab them and put hookahs in their mouth. And on this one, we actually had a person pass out, shallow water blackout.
Wow.
That's how real this goes. And I'm the safety swimmer or safety instructor on the surface boat. We have another Rudy, DS Rudy, he's the Marine Recon. He's in the water swimming around. He's also a safety guy, but he's in the water to physically grab them if they need it. And man, we had this couple come out, and this woman, she was so intensely excited to just be able to say that she did this crazy thing because she never knew she could achieve something like this on any level whatsoever. She breaks the surface of the water, and initially she just screams. She just screamed, I did it. I did it louder than I'm showing you right now. She just goes crazy. She didn't take a recovery breath. After holding your breath, if you come out of water, you just exert all your energy and all your breath. I'm screaming and talking. She ended up having a shallow water blackout. She straight blacked out and just went in the water. And I'm on a recovery boat looking, and I'm seeing her eyes completely like this, but she's not moving. She just floats away. And we had to go get her. Guys grabbed her. Rudy grip gets her. He gets over to me. I pull on the boat. I'm doing chest compressions, and I slap her in the face, just like we're doing Buzz. Wake the hell up. You're all right.
Yeah.
And then she snaps out of it, and she just all crying, and it's just one of those things that you see her so happy that she did something like that, but at the same time, it's very fearful because you just never know what these people may go through. Their fear, their phobias is real. This is real stuff. And the show, they tell me every day that they got it on video, so they're happy they got it because it's going to be good on film. But, this is real situation. This lady could have easily drowned, easily. So people got to know, man, the water, as you know, is the great equalizer, just as you said, and it can really put you in a position where you can lose your life. And we try to teach people about this stuff.
Yeah, man, that's super exciting. I can't wait to see that on this upcoming season. See it as it goes down. And I mean, yeah, I definitely know that I had my own fair share of shallow water blackouts. The water, the sea, I think is an old Shakespeare quote. The sea will make cowards of us all. And it is an equalizer. You will really see, looking at yourself in the mirror, every little bit of you and how much you want something, all those things. Because, man, one of the times that I had a shallow water blackout, I was fighting the safety swimmer because I thought that I was getting woke up from bed, like that my room was flooding for some reason, that I was asleep in my own bed and I was dreaming and my room was flooding. And then somebody's like attacking me in bed and I'm like, no, get off me. Rah! Nope, I was in the pool.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you made me think about that because I did. I had a shallow water blackout once in Hawaii. We was doing something at the SDV team, and because as you know, you're on rebreathers deep down in the ocean, and if something goes wrong with your rebreather, you got to troubleshoot that. You just can't shoot to the surface. You're too far down. So they had us train with some free divers to get our breath holds up so we can be calm and manage this thing. And we all first train in the pool, and I tell people, don't try this at home. We had safety and everything around us to make sure we did this right. Well, we go out to the pool. When we get out of the pool, we graduate from the pool, go to the ocean, and they lower a weight 100 feet down. And now we got to really test ourselves and go down 100 feet on the breath and come back up, and we pass. Well, we all hanging out, floating on the little buoy, while we're all going one at a time, everybody putting their head on the water, goggles on, looking at them. You see this person disappear when they get way down there. You just darkness on the breath. And we're all like, I'm thinking, man, this is gonna be something. And this my go comes, right?
yeah.
So I do it right, and I got my breath hold up to 4 minutes and some change, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's nothing. Everybody so far coming up. I do it, I go down, cruising, pull on this line, pull on the line, just cruising down, keep my body straight. Feel a little plate at the bottom, hit my head, but it got dark too, man. It straight up gets dark. And you and I both know your mind plays games on you when you're at the ocean, right? And you're in that dark water like that. And you can't see nothing. You think something's targeting you all the time. So, man, I hit this plate, finally turn around. My mind's like, whew, okay, get the hell up out of here. Let's go. Then I finally start seeing light. And I know I'm starting to come back up to the surface. And Hawaii water is super clear. So, to get deep, get
If
dark,
it's,
you got deep.
yeah.
You got deep. So, we get to the surface, man. And as soon as I broke the surface, I blacked out. And then I remembered, like you, somebody waking me up, like tapping me on my cheek, just like slapping me a little bit because they teach you how to wake people up from a shallow water blackout, just lightly and all this stuff, on your eyelids. And I like brush him off, like, get off me. What you doing? He had no idea. He's like, Q. He's like, Q, you passed out. I'm like, no, the hell I didn't. Get the hell off me, man. What you doing? So I was so in disbelief because you just don't know. You were just boom. Like you said, you was in the pool. I just came out of the water just fine.
Dude, that's wild. That is wild. Yeah. And you were in like deep sea. You were in deep sea.
Deep sea, bro. Deep
Whole
sea.
nother world.
But everything, all the safety was there. All my other guys in the platoon were there. The main big diver was there. They had a boat out there, so all the safety program was there. But it still happens. It still happens, you know.
Yeah, for real. And kind of in that vein, so you're putting athletes, celebrities, influencers through very difficult, very strenuous situations, things designed to test them, things designed to make it real. Has there been a moment for you on the set that you kind of thought, oh, this is weirder, harder, or maybe even more challenging for something that we faced in training?
Um, because we're mixed in with the UK, the British Special Forces, SAS guy Billy Billingham, SBS guy Jason Fox, and Billy has been in. He was in like 27, 28 years. You know, he's a badass. One of those guys over there. He has a big history on that side of the world, and you know, we do some of the tasks we create is based off of what training they've gone through. And there's definitely been some things that I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know you guys use this tactic to say get across two canyons. You know what I mean? We don't train to this, but they do. You know, it's kind of like I forgot the name of it right now. It leaves me, but it's one of these things where you have to really be onto a rope from across and cross two canyons, kind of standing up on it, you know. But it's crazy thing that we just don't do in the SEAL teams, but they do over there and they train for, it, which is a good thing that someone trains for this because you just never know when you're going to need it. So I'll definitely say, man, yeah, there's some things that the Brits do that we don't do, and things that we do that they don't do. So we kind of learn from each other. But you know, the Brits are, you know, we're all allies. We've done training together. Actually, the SBS guy, his best friend was in my SDV class. So we all kind of share the same stuff. So, but they're wild deployments and things like that, and they're wild trainings, right? Because you and I both know we've had more people in the SEAL teams die out of trainings than we have in real life situations because our training is so insane outside of Red Wings and all that stuff. So we've lost a lot of guys in training. Guys have gotten majorly injured in training. So yeah,
Yeah, you make a very good point is that even though deployment is where you think of as all the dangers, but no, it's SEALs, the special operators, the SAS, all of these guys, it's you're in high risk training every day. You're doing things to where you very potentially could not make it home, whether it's, the dive training, you said SDVs, so SEAL delivery vehicle. That's a whole nother expanded mission set that is very highly calibrated. You got to do so much training just to be in that unit. And they do a phenomenal job. And so that's the SEAL delivery vehicles. And that brings a whole nother set of missions, target packages, and capabilities that we can do. And even in that, every single thing you're doing, you're in a high risk environment, a high threat environment to where if you're not paying attention, if your safety gear's not right, if you haven't inspected it and had it double checked by, somebody else, probably multiple people, you might not be making it back.
yep. And bring, you know, we even a lot of the things we kind of give them, even the small little things to be aware of, like noise. We give them these rucks. The Brits call them Bergens, you know, but to us they're just rucks. And we teach them about, you know, sound and keeping yourself stealth at all times when you're out there on deployment, because you don't want to be running around and you got your food container just rattling around in the back. You got wrappers or bags of your little snack bags or whatever is rattling around. It's like how to keep the noise down, cancel all the noise so you can still be sneaky and all that stuff. So we teach them the little things, and sometimes they don't understand why we do this, and we hit them on these things, room inspections, how to be more disciplined. They don't understand why we hit them on these little small things, but by the end of it, they do because they get it. It all goes to a bigger picture, not just for us picking on you. It helps you with your gear, helps you maintain your gear, helps you keep it in a place organized in a way that you can get to it if you need it. It's readily accessible, and you have a place to put it on your kit. You know, so it's just one of those things. But man, it's a real thing. So that's what I say about that.
Absolutely. So we've talked a lot about your work with Hollywood. And
Yeah.
is there any specific incident that you would like to share from your Navy career that maybe sticks out? I know you already shared about the diving thing, but is there anything else that you want to highlight, you want to bring out that can paint some of these differences or similarities between what you're doing there with Special Forces World's Toughest Test and what you were doing real world in the Navy?
I will say just leadership with communication. honestly. And when I think about that is we teach them about leadership and communicating with each other, you know, sounding off, sounding the word, making sure everybody in your platoon gets the word on the show, just like we did it in the SEAL teams, making sure everybody understand what's going on, the big picture, and getting people to understand that sometimes your leadership may not be there. So you got to be the one to think, to be that thinking shooter. I always say this on the show. We're always looking for in the SEAL teams thinking shooters, you know, people who can stand up and make a decision if leadership isn't there. So I say that's the one relatable thing that we really are taking on from what we do in real life situations in the SEAL teams and special forces as a whole to what we're giving these celebrities as far as leadership, being willing to take that charge and do that extra job and make things happen and without someone telling you to, stepping up, being a team player, communicate, let everyone know what's going on, the game plan, where we're going, how we're doing it, and how we're getting there. So that's probably the biggest thing. But outside of that, I like to say one thing that I try to bring to them is what happened to me when I graduated was selection. Because I relate selection to selection. Our selection to their selection that they're going through is I graduated as the honor grad, right? And
And
I
what
tell
do you
them,
mind explaining to the listeners what the honor grad means? That's a very significant title.
oh yeah, yeah. So when I went through Buds, and what most people don't know about this, about me until I talk about it on podcasts or other interviews, is the first time I went into the program, I was one of those people who had a mental block and I quit in the middle of Hell Week. So that's a new one that most of the audience and hopefully the audience will get to learn that about me is that I was one of those people who also had that mental block, had that mental failure, and found or faced myself in a way where I allowed an excuse to be justified in my mind that it's okay to leave, that I'm not good enough, that maybe something else is there for me. Maybe I should do something else. Just be a regular Navy person, which is nothing wrong with that. We serve, period. But to just let my dream go because it was too hard. Instead of wanting myself to be harder, I was willing to just accept the fact that maybe I'm not good enough. And I let myself go. So when I came back, and I came back furious, I came back hungry because at the moment that I quit run that bell the first time, that same instant, I realized I was just fine. I let that monkey jump on my back and tell me and get in my ear, tell me that, hey man, it's okay. You can just do something else. And I believed it internally. Oh man, this hurts too bad. And but at the end of the day, it all goes away. It's going to end, right? The struggle of your life will end. The curve is coming. The transition is coming. The winning is coming. You just have to keep going through the process. It's going to be some hardship, but just keep going through it. Keep going through it. Keep going through it. It will end, and you will find yourself on the other side of greatness at some point. So when I came back, my mission was just to graduate. So when I went through it, got back to the same part of Hell Week, and same thing hit me. Tuesday midnight, right after midnight, something whatever time it was. I looked across the harbor. I could see all the ships lighting up from the pier lights and all that stuff. I said, "Oh, I could just go and just serve my country." And I got past that mental block. And the long story short, I finished Buds to a point where they woke me up. They called me, excuse me, and said I needed to make a statement, hey, say some words or whatever. And they said, "You're the honor grad." And I want people to understand being the honor grad was something I wasn't expecting to happen. The number one thing I was trying to do is just be the best that I could be. Right? I wasn't the fastest runner, not even close. I was never a long distance runner. I wasn't the fastest swimmer. I'm black. That ain't happening. That was never gonna be me. I wasn't the fastest on the obstacle course. No. I failed probably at least every written test maybe once going through the whole thing because it was a whole new world from dive physics, explosive breaching, calculate navigation charts, all these different things. I struggled my entire way going through Buds in some way, shape, or form. But I was so hungry that no matter what, it wasn't breaking my mental spirit. I was the loudest in my class. I was the most combative, meaning I showed the instructors that I'm here to stay. They heard me, they knew me, when they tried to get on me in my face or something, I gave them some talk back respectively, but something that they can just be like, oh, damn, okay. All right, this guy, he ain't scared, right?
Yeah.
He wants this. I want this. And by the end of it, The instructors voted me as the honor grad. My peers in my class voted me as the honor grad, and I graduated. First Black man, as I found out, as to graduate buds as the honor grad when I went through it.
That's
And that was
awesome.
a
That's
huge
the like
accomplishment.
the premier thing. Only one person in every class gets voted as being the standout. They're the top of the class. They're the one that is the graduate that is number one in the class. Kind of like a valedictorian, but just a little bit different in this community because it's like you said, it's very comprehensive and it has also to do a lot with your mindset, with your attitude, with how you're approaching life, how you're approaching the challenges, and that what it is that's inside of you that's driving you forward and keeping you going. And so that is like huge honor to be voted as the honor grad and to graduate as the honor grad. So I don't want anybody to just like brush that off and maybe miss what that means because it's very significant. Sorry, I want to get it back to you, but I wanted to make sure they realize that.
No, man. You said it just right. Sometimes I don't speak to it like the way I should, but it's the truth. I mean, that was the biggest accolade for me going through anything I've ever gone through in my life, learning about me. I learned something about myself. I learned I can go further. The things that I speak of, the motivational, the inspirational speeches, and all that stuff I speak of, I try to teach that because I'm a perfect example of it. I went through something where I failed. I went through something where I quit. I went through something where I gave up because of the process I thought was too hard for me. I came back with the fire to crush it. Still wasn't the best at it, but I had a character, I had an attitude, I had a mindset of effort no matter what, and that I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it no matter what, how much I hated it. And I enjoyed the entire process.
That's such a good way to put it, man. Because they always talk about, hey, positive mental attitude, just always have it. So you mentioned that mental block, Tuesday night of Hell Week, whatever time it was. You were mentioning that. Do you remember what it was that just kind of clicked in your brain, and then all of a sudden you're like, nope, not doing it again. I'm seeing this through.
My grandmother and my kids, 100%.